Hey there, I'm Joe Carter. If you've ever popped the hood and thought, where do I even start? You're in good company. Around here, we take the mystery out of car repair, one fix at a time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're into learning without the headaches. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into it.
The symptoms of breakage manifested in the operation of the car. You can include the appearance of knocks, blows when passing bumps, joints of asphalt. Diagnostic methods: visual inspection for the defects described above. Features of design: orientation of the rear beam silent block. Daewoo knows there is no fundamental difference in the rear beam silent blocks of different car models. A distinctive feature of a particular model can only be a requirement for the position of the silent block relative to the beam. On the photo you can see the buffer element from Audi AT. It is recommended to press the part into the beam in such a way that the axis of the slots are located horizontally in relation to the vehicle body. This does not apply to parts where the buffer is solid rubber and the silent block body does not have the characteristic protrusions. For attachment to the bracket, they can be installed in either direction. But in any case, it is necessary to monitor the depth of pressing. Most products are pressed flush, but in some versions of the design of the silent blocks will stick out more to a certain side, for example, on Renault Traffic. Therefore, even in the process of disassembly should measure the location of the part. If the buffer is not solid rubber, when disassembling, paint or scratch a mark on the body of the silent block and on the seat of the beam. This will allow you to reassemble the silent block exactly as it was done by the factory, assuming the products have not been changed before and were installed correctly. Tools and methods of extrusion: at the factory, the silent block is pressed into the beam seat and is held there solely by friction. Therefore, you will not be able to simply remove it and get it out. The most correct way will be to press out and press the part with a special puller. If you do not have one, you can resort to drilling out the rubber damper, which will loosen a little tension, and to cutting the outer cage with a metal hacksaw. On the internet you can find ways in which the outer cage is bent with a chisel or hammered under it with a screwdriver, and then knock the silent from the seat. We do not recommend using such barbaric methods, as there is a risk of damaging the seat in the beam. The design of the puller is an assembly of mandrels, a stud and two nuts. The outer diameter of one mandrel, for which a thick washer is best, must match, preferably even a little smaller, with the diameter of the outer metal cage of the silent block on the side of the extrusion. The second insert will serve as a stop and a cavity in which the silent will go into when pressing. Its diameter should be larger than the inside diameter of the seat in the beam. As mandrels can be used large washers, bearing washers, pieces of pipe of suitable diameter. There are universal sets of hub-bearing pullers on sale, which can be used to repair the rear beam. What other tools will be needed besides the puller? You need socket wrenches, heads for unscrewing the beam mounting brackets and the silent block itself. When completely removing the rear beam, will need to unscrew the lower shock absorber mount and brake hose. You will also need keys for pumping the brake system. It is most convenient to perform the work from the inspection pit. Loosen the nut securing the bracket to the vehicle body. Remove the mounting bolt and the silent block itself. Don't forget to mark how the silent block was positioned relative to the bracket. Operations #1-3 should be done with the second side as well. Raise the rear of the car with a jack and fix it on the stops. The beam should drop slightly, and then you will have room to press out. Pressing and assembly: thoroughly clean the seating area in the beam. It is best to use a metal drill brush, but an ordinary brush with metal fibers will do. Before pressing in, grease the seat with engine oil or other grease. Since the rubber damper is located in a metal mandrel, technical fluids will not harm it and will not affect its service life. It is recommended to remove a small chamfer on the outer cage on the pressing side, so that the part will fit better into the seating hole. The same puller can be used for pressing. You can use the cage from an old silent block as a mandrel for pressing. If you do not have a suitable mandrel, you can cut a square 3 to 4 mm thick as a stop. In this case, at the end of pressing, the rubber damper will rest against the stop plate. To press the part flush, you will need to put something under the plate. Be sure to make sure that the silent block goes in without any misalignment. If necessary, the alignment can be corrected by gently striking the mandrel on the protruding side with a hammer. When installing the bracket, the beam will need to be guided into the seat either manually or using a jack to raise and guide the beam. It may be sufficient to lower the body. In any case, it is necessary to be guided according to the place and the situation. Initially, all bolts and nuts only need to be tightened, then tighten the bracket mounting bolts. After that, you can lower the car on the wheels and clamp the bolt fixing the silent block. The bolt should only be tightened when the car is standing under its own weight on the ground. This is very important. Replacing the silent blocks with complete removal of the beam. In the video below, you can see the process of replacing the silent blocks with the complete removal of the rear beam. The inconvenience of this method is that you need to disconnect the brake hose, as its length will not be enough to completely lower the beam. Of course, after replacement, it will be necessary to refill the brake fluid and pump the brakes, which is quite difficult to do alone. Orientation of the rear beam silent block. Daewoo Lanos hub replacement. In conclusion, replacing beam silent blocks is a task that can be accomplished with a bit of patience and the right techniques. By following the methods we've discussed, you can effectively press and install new silent blocks, ensuring your vehicle runs smoothly and quietly. Remember to take your time, use the appropriate tools, and prioritize safety throughout the process. With these tips in hand, you can tackle this project confidently and enjoy the satisfaction of completing it on your own. Thank you for watching, and happy repairing.